technically, despite having the most wins in both the AL and all of Major League Baseball, 52 of them for New York, no longer the best winning percentage.
You expect your front offices to hit that gas pedal when it comes time to get a better team on the field post All-Star break, because the one thing that you know from the Yankees and the Orioles is what, Ben? You're going to fight with each other throughout the stretch here, and you want home field advantage.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
You know, this guy is the mad scientist. I mean, he's all about green density. So in my mind, I feel like he's going to have the green speeds dialed in, and the angles he needs to land them and all that sort of stuff. I feel like he's going to be a good spot and playing the course well. And he's going to be hitting less club into a lot of these par threes too. So I just, we're talking about using a live guy. I love Bryson this week. I'm riding with Bryson.
Only on SportsGrid.
This new sports integrity partnership, Genius Sports, is involved in this. More protection.
They said that's going to allow them to beef up their protection and add more integrity monitoring tools to essentially catch bad behavior before it happens. This comes, obviously, after a just ton of scandals we've had across sports betting lately, whether it's the MLB umpire, Pat Hoberg.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Despite me being a Yankee fan, I think Joe would deserve the label as Aaron Judge's biggest fan, not through any bias, but just through the amount of money that he's made anybody who's been betting on him.
I just had him for that home run, and I'm going to go back to it today. That home run coming in at plus 230. Max Fried here, while he has been strong, this is Aaron Judge.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome in. It's a huge morning here on Game Time Decisions. Kevin Walsh with you for the next 2 hours with live coverage out at the Olympics as we break down Team USA against Team Serbia, men's basketball here at the Olympics, what is thus far going to be the biggest game that we have seen. That is no doubt about it from a betting perspective. This is what everybody is going to be locking into, so let's lock you in. Let's put picks on the board. Team USA, right now, a 13.5-point favorite. That total, 182.5 at some spots, climbing up, 183.5, 184. So you can tell the money is coming in. People are looking for overs, which have been hard to come by. We're 5 games in. All but these two teams here from the men's side have played, and we have not seen an over yet. It has been unders. Now, some of them have been close. Is this the one that breaks through? I am not betting this total. If I was, I myself at this point would sell high and go underneath on that 184, but that is not where I am looking to lock in. Let's lock in with a quick pick, a launch, a nuke. And from deep, it's Steph Curry. It's plus 950 for 6 made threes. Steph did this in the build-up up against Serbia. And now that is what makes this even more tempting. What I'm looking to do is bet this prop on Steph Curry throughout this tournament. If Team USA ultimately plays in a medal game, specifically the gold game, that'll be 6 tracks for Steph. At plus 950, that's exactly what we're looking for. I know this has dropped to plus 750. As long as we are getting, I would say, better than 7-1, that way we only need to win once in order to make our money. We should be all good here with Steph Curry. The attempts will be there. And I think it's a better chance he does it against either South Sudan or Puerto Rico. But since he did it against Serbia in the build-up, we go long shot. We take a swing. Now, the straight action that I look for in this game comes on 2 superstar bigs on both sides of this basketball game. For Team USA, Anthony Davis, over 20.5 points plus rebounds. Team Serbia, Nikola Jokic, under 36.5 points, rebounds, and assists. This Jokic number has climbed a little bit. It's gone the other direction. Does not scare me one bit. And in fact, now seeing 38.5, I am. I'm telling you this. As we hit break, I will be clicking under again on that Nikola Jokic prop. Nikola Jokic is at 35.5 at another book. That 38.5 is there on FanDuel. And Nikola Jokic has gone over that number in the 4 preparation games that we saw a whopping 0 times. Not once did Nikola Jokic provide you 37 points, rebounds, assists. He was mostly not even close. He averaged 16.5 points, 11.3 rebounds, and just 3 assists. Nikola Jokic at the Olympics is not the same passer as he is with the Denver Nuggets. It's not the same game. Nikola Jokic right now averaging 30.8 points, rebounds, and assists in those 4 build-up games. Going up against Team USA, who's going to be able to throw Embiid, AD, and Bam at him. Arguably the 3 best of, who else would you want to take your chances at guarding Jokic? And I know no one can really guard him, but to try to make life difficult on the best player in the world, Team USA is loaded with guys to step up and take on that opportunity. You compare Jokic to lead man for Team USA, his props compared to LeBron, you can tell a lot more on Jokic's plate. LeBron, 15.5 points, 5.5 boards, 5.5 dimes. We begin USA basketball tournament action with LeBron as the favorite to win tournament MVP, and he is also the favorite to lead Team USA in scoring, but it is the other LA Laker that has caught my attention here in this matchup, and I'm going to go over 20.5 points plus rebounds for AD. We went over this in 3 out of the 5 preparation games that we saw, with minutes being the very clear and obvious determining factor. Anthony Davis, when he played at least 18 minutes, he went over this number in all 3 of those games. He played 16 against Serbia, finished with 7-6, and he played 14 against Germany, and he played 10-7. Some of that a little bit of foul trouble for Anthony Davis. And I ultimately think as long as he stays out of foul trouble, this is a guy that they'd probably like to play 25 or so minutes. The one game where AD cracked 20 minutes was their most competitive, ironically, against South Sudan. 15 points, 11 rebounds. AD is around 2-1 for a double-double. I do not mind that look one bit if you'd like to get involved that way there with Anthony Davis in this basketball game. I did place as well because, listen, we're excited. I placed a little same-game parlay for the people. We slapped a boost on it, and we got in the mix. We have Steph Curry for 15-plus points. We have Joel Embiid for 15-plus points. LeBron for 10-plus points. And Anthony Davis for 8-plus rebounds, boosted up. That pays out at $10.92. Now, I do not probably need to sell you on a lot of the elements of this. The Anthony Davis rebounds, I kind of just went over. It works in there. That LeBron number's around -700. While I'm not sure if he's going to be a 20-point-per-game guy here at the Olympics, I do think 10 should be secure. I think he's going to want to get to that benchmark here in the opening game of the Olympics. Steph and Embiid at 15 each. Now, Steph is -128 to get there. Again, I do think you're going to see a lot of volume from Steph Curry from beyond the arc, and I think that's going to really help get towards this number here of 15 points. Joel Embiid's the plus money. Of that 4 options there, it is that individual prop that is the only at a plus price. Joel Embiid was playing his best basketball as these games went along, and for the first time did crack 15 against Germany. He had 14 the game prior against South Sudan, so I like that little opportunity there. Plus, I figure why not get in the mix? It's U.S., it's Serbia, and it's a little SGP action here for the people. Now, from that futures at the end of it all, we've talked about this. Some of these numbers are going to be locking up, and I'm hoping some of these numbers, though, will be reintroduced to us. But the MVP market, I have a LeBron plus 750 number. That was placed after watching these games and LeBron continuously be the guy for Team USA. And you see how much that number has moved. There's certainly a world where you could say, well, it's still going to be LeBron. Bet him at that number. But we've been waiting to see what would Team USA do with the starters. Well, those starters are out, and it is a bit surprising. LeBron, okay. Steph, you knew it. Embiid, he started all the games. Who would round out that starting 5? Kevin Durant back is an option. Anthony Edwards projected as a star. AD was arguably the best player for Team USA in the build-up to this tournament. Bam Adebayo probably deserves some love. Jason Tatum, an NBA champion. Well, they do have a Boston Celtic in there. It's Drew Holiday, and it's Devin Booker that round out this top five. Devin Booker got a lot of love, I felt, in the build-up to this tournament. He got a lot of minutes in the build-up here to this tournament as well. The one reaction from seeing this starting five come down, it involves the Phoenix Suns. Reaction number one is perhaps your Devin Booker numbers are worth playing. Perhaps Devin Booker is going to actually now present us some value here if they feel that he is going to be this impactful. His prop is at 7.5. But the bigger takeaway is with Kevin Durant being available but not starting, I would not hold my breath on Kevin Durant making an impact in this basketball game. I don't see Kevin Durant props. I think considering we're going to tip off in 5 minutes, we will not see Kevin Durant props. If you do see a Kevin Durant prop, cautious, under. I would not be certain about the type of minutes that KD plays. The expectation isn't going to be that Team USA needs Kevin Durant in this basketball game as is. Let's lock in. Let's make it happen. Let's rebet that Jokic PRA, and let's watch Team USA basketball make their march towards gold with the final game of the opening set of group games here. Team USA versus Serbia. Kevin Walsh on Sports Grid. We lock right back in after this break.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Media have already said that they are going to be horrible. The books have them, as we'll see in a moment, at a win total of 5.5. Sean Payton, though, Scotty, he does not listen to preseason prognosticators.
That's your future, and it's on you. Like, they selected him. They wanted him. That's what they got. And now he has to build that from scratch.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
They scored well. They defended like crap. Last game, they struggled to score. They defended great. We still have not seen the best out of USA basketball. So they showed they've won different ways. They still should win absolutely the gold medal. But they're playing with fire a little bit with their play, especially when you get to the medal round and it only takes is one game to lose.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Let's rock and roll. Look at you out there. Clicking. Jokic, 38.5. That's gone. 37.5. I did bet it again at 37.5. I didn't want to, but I had to. Because you got involved at 38.5, so I had to get involved 37.5. We're already involved 36.5. We're fading Nikola Jokic here. We have to. It has to be done. Different player at the Olympics. That's the story. Now, as we get ready for USA Serbia to begin, we did not dial into anything that we saw yesterday or even this morning. With the Olympics, and I think we probably should because there were a lot of noteworthy results yesterday when it came to the Olympic basketball. Now, this morning we had South Sudan and Puerto Rico. South Sudan gets the job done, man. And it was really impressive. They were initially supposed to be underdogs against Puerto Rico. Their performance against USA shifted the number and ended up shifting the number appropriately. We did, though, see an under check-in for Carlik Jones's assist prop, which was an early sizzle there at 9.5. One thing from the Puerto Rico side, Jose Alvarado was a monster, 26 points in that basketball game. His scoring in the prep had been up and down. Just keep tabs on how they shift that number for Jose Alvarado throughout this entire process here. But the Saturday slate was full. It had 4 games. We already talked to you with Australia, Spain, and Germany, Japan yesterday. Those games began before yesterday's game time decisions. What didn't begin before game time decisions, and in fact after, was Canada against Greece. 86-79. Kind of depends when you did your shopping there as far as the cover goes. With Canada there winning by 7, some got hooked, depending again on which side you were on. Perhaps some pushes there in the mix. This game worked out for me with an under on the board, as well as R.J. Barrett flying through that number. And I think that's one of the really important things from this game. R.J. Barrett yesterday led Canada in minutes, as well as field goal attempts. Now, SGA took 4 additional free throws compared to R.J. Barrett. It's not that he was obviously hurting for workload, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but he did go under his prop. Maybe you got in super early on a 20.5, but R.J. Barrett flew through a 13.5 as Canada has shifted their lineup, trusted the offense of R.J. Barrett, and banked on perimeter size with RJ and Lou Dort complementing SGA and having Jamal Murray off of the bench. Jamal Murray with 8 and 3 off the pine there, which was not the expectation from someone who was supposed to be the second best player on Team Canada. Team USA and Team Serbia is underway, by the way, here. We're going to keep tabs on you, let you know what that first basket looks like. What did jump off the page, though, for Greece was Giannis. I mean, workload aplenty, 33 big-time minutes, led to 34 big-time points, 17 field goals, and 15 free throws there as an inbounds pass is stolen, and it is a score. Serbia opens the scoring here in this basketball game against USA. But for Giannis, who was a plus 650 favorite to lead the Olympics in total scoring, all right, that's all the teams. SGA was the favorite at plus 350. How do these numbers move now after we've seen the Giannis 13-point gap he created over Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? Giannis created a double-digit gap on everyone other than Spain's Santi Aldama. And for Aldama, the expectations for Spain is very well they might lose all of their games within their group, and it's going to be difficult for them to try and advance. So certainly what we need to keep our eye on are those adjusted markets. The adjusted assist number is, I think, assuredly going to see the new favorite be Dennis Schroeder, 12 assists. He was already a top 5 choice there. Josh Giddey will be getting some respect in the market as well. From that perspective, rebounds-wise, Victor Wembanyama, from all things considered, 9 rebounds, I think is going to be what moves the market appropriately the most. Right now, 4-0 Serbia, but Joel Embiid's going to head to the line for 2. He did just draw foul on Nikola Jokic. So that's where we are. We're going to continuously stay locked in here. We are going to have, at the 3M Open, some Brady Cannon talk about where things are going there. Joe Madden's going to step in the mix here, get us some Major League Baseball previews, and then Dave Sharapan's going to give us a nice hour here to follow Team USA Serbia, break down baseball, and everything that's going on here on a Sunday. The one thing I want to quickly just let people know, just due to the timeliness of it, is an 11:35 game here between the Reds and the Rays. I mentioned the importance of this series due to the updated win totals that I played, and I'm kind of now stuck in between a rock and a hard place, if you will. The job was done yesterday by Tampa Bay, as Embiid misses both at the line. The job was done yesterday by Tampa Bay. Now the Reds are favorites, and I can't even be overly excited about that, because I have a Hunter Green season-long wins under that he is continuously pressing up against there. So we'll see what that game looks like for me. As LeBron gets out there, opens the scoring, puts a dunk on the board. What would they do without him? Quite frankly, hand him the MVP right now. He's the greatest basketball player of all time. Oh, you didn't think you were going to get that? You didn't think you were going to get that 20 minutes into the show? That's on you. That's on you. Come on now. But, man, Serbia certainly looks good early here. I know some people were looking to, go out USA first quarter, first half, set the tone, dial in, show their dominance. I think what you're seeing right now, just a little bit here from the Team USA perspective, is one, the similar issues they had against Canada, where first time, big moment, feeling out process, right? And that's what you have here. You're elevating out of exhibitions now into the legitimate Olympics, so there's a feeling out process. Here's the other problem. This starting lineup is a joke. This is not the best starting lineup that they can offer. Nobody thinks that. And there's no world that they think this is their best starting lineup, right? Because if so, can you fire coaches? At the Olympics, 8-2 Serbia. Steal on the inbounds pass, 10-2 Serbia. Hey, Steve, take a timeout, brother. Let's wake it up, right? Let's wake it up. This is what we're going to do here this morning. We're going to lock in right now, I'll tell you that. And if Steve's not ready to coach, flight out of there. And I'm sure you enjoyed Paris. Take one last stop at the Eiffel Tower, and let Spo get the job done, huh? I mean, what are we doing here? We're sending out B-plus level starting lineups as the Olympics get underway. Why do we play the exhibitions? We played the exhibitions to watch Ant be better than Drew, AD be better than Embiid. Devin Booker was not all that good. What are we doing? Kevin Durant's healthy, he's not healthy. Great, this is college football I'm watching. What's happening here? A break, I need one. My, oh my, we're live, game time decisions.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Media have already said that they are going to be horrible. The books have them, as we'll see in a moment, at a win total of 5.5. Sean Payton, though, Scotty, he does not listen to preseason prognosticators.
That's your future, and it's on you. Like, they selected him. They wanted him. That's what they got. And now he has to build that from scratch.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
They scored well. They defended like crap. Last game, they struggled to score. They defended great. We still have not seen the best out of USA basketball. So they showed they've won different ways. They still should win absolutely the gold medal. But they're playing with fire a little bit with their play, especially when you get to the medal round and it only takes is one game to lose.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
We are back right here on SportsGrid. The timeout did come in for Team USA, and this is noteworthy, but less than 3 minutes into this game, Joel Embiid was taken out for Anthony Davis. Again, it suggests they are well aware that AD has outplayed Joel Embiid, and that change then was quickly made. We have seen a couple of threes fall for Team USA, one for Steph Curry and one for Devin Booker, and he actually gets another one to fall. So shout out D-Book, man. He's locking in. He's dialing in here. Let's get a medal count for the people, though. This is USA, and we've talked kind of for the Americans, man. There's a lot of expectations here at the Olympics. We know that. They're the favorites to have the most medals, the most gold medals. Yesterday in swimming, they put their first up on the board. So from that perspective, I know that there was obviously a lot of excitement around that, but it's also a scenario for Team USA where things are going to have to start picking up. Some swimming, some tennis that's kind of going on here. Later today, as far as kind of big events that I'm sure people are going to be really locked in on, it's going to be the soccer, okay, specifically the USA women's national team going up against Germany. I think there's going to be a lot of eyes on that match. So that's stuff that I know the in-game live crew will certainly be dialing into. LeBron with an N1 transition that gets Team USA their first lead. We did see some more substitutions with Steph Curry checking out of the game as Derek White enters, and then Anthony Edwards checks into the basketball game for Drew Holiday. So maybe I guess Ant for Steph and Derek White for Drew, if you want to be probably a little bit more specific there. But those are kind of the shifts that we're seeing right now for Team USA. And again, they did just grab what is their first lead of this basketball game. 4 early ones with LeBron, with an opportunity to make it a 5th here at the stripe. We had a lot of tennis early this morning. There's going to be some more tennis throughout the day. We have the women's rugby sevens going on. USA got an earlier win this morning as well, just to kind of give people an idea what's going on with the Olympics, what we're seeing at the Olympics. And if you're not kind of, again, betting if you're betting outside of the big marquee events, right, what we kind of have on the table here at this point in time. At the next dead ball, we'll do a reset of the odds for everybody here. All right, we got a dead ball. Let's just try and get a quick idea of what's shifted here. 14.5 for USA. So, look, just an early lead. It shifts them up. 185.5 is your total. One thing I noticed, this isn't a slight, it's just so everybody's careful, but following any of the live stuff on FanDuel, one of their clocks is a bit off. All right, so it's suggesting there's more time, and that's just if you're betting inside a quarter or in a half, it's really important you know where you are. I am sure 90% of you who are betting Team USA basketball live are also watching, but hey, we've all been there where that's not the case, right? Or certainly you're maybe dealing with a delay and you're trying to gauge what that delay looks like. So just giving everybody an idea what's going on there. And then LeBron is now subbed out for the first time. So Bam Adebayo checks into this game. Devin Booker holds on the longest from the starting group. And we've had 4 subs. None of them are Kevin Durant. Again, it gives you an idea, right? Hey, Kevin Durant's healthy. Kevin Durant's available. How available? How healthy? He's scrimmaging, we know that. He's cleared to play, but it does not feel like any type of certainty that we actually see him in this basketball game. Truly, it doesn't. And I think that's really noteworthy because one of the takeaways from the opening exhibition games that we had was, man, it would be good to have Kevin Durant back out there. You know, these teams, look, they won every game they played. Kevin Durant is, arguably, and it's a pretty easy argument to win, the best men's basketball Olympian of all time from the U.S. So, I mean, from the scoring, from the success, it's a pretty easy argument to win. That's a guy that they've not had out there. It's a guy who, for a lot of people, is still one of the 10 best players in all of basketball. And again, they've not been able to have him out there. Well, that's continued. And now it's a 19-14 lead. We know what LeBron hitting the bench. That's kind of, came off the rails right away for Team USA. So we'll see. The defense hasn't been sharp whatsoever here, and it's why that total is continuing to tick up, and tick up. We are hitting a break. We're going to continue to follow everything here. But also, let's talk some 3M Open for the golf folks, man. And let's get an idea what we can do. We are about a half hour away from a lot of the key guys teeing off. So we get an opportunity to talk to Brady Cannon. What is he seeing here at the 3M Open as Kevin Durant checks in for the first time? That's big stuff. We'll be right back.
anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Media have already said that they are going to be horrible. The books have them, as we'll see in a moment, at a win total of 5.5. Sean Payton, though, Scotty, he does not listen to preseason prognosticators.
That's your future, and it's on you. Like, they selected him. They wanted him. That's what they got. And now he has to build that from scratch.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
They scored well. They defended like crap. Last game, they struggled to score. They defended great. We still have not seen the best out of USA basketball. So they showed they've won different ways. They still should win absolutely the gold medal. But they're playing with fire a little bit with their play, especially when you get to the medal round and it only takes is one game to lose.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Game Time Decisions. One more update before we get to the golf. 20 up right now in USA Serbia. A live number of 11.5 for Team USA. 188.5 is the total. Kevin Durant checked in and immediately knocked down a three. Anthony Edwards knocked down one of his own. 7 made field goals for the United States. 5 of them from beyond the arc. They're 5 of 8 from 3. It's what they've done to keep themselves in this game, but it's what they can do. This team has a lot of great shooters that can catch and shoot, get in rhythm, and it's what this team needs to do. It's what they didn't do in their last game. They only took about 17 threes. This team's pacing to take about 40 on it right now in this game, which is the range that they should be in. Let's talk some golf. We'll talk with Brady Cannon. Brady, great to talk to you always on a Sunday morning. How's it looking out there at the 3M Open?
I tell you, I think we got a good finish. Really, it should come down to just 3 guys, Kevin. Yesterday was tough conditions, and some guys really didn't seem to bother them. The wind was up pretty good yesterday, kind of steady around 15 miles an hour, but you had some gusts up into the 20, 25, even 30-mile-an-hour range, but some guys still managed to go really low. Your 36-hole leader, Taylor Pendrith, could not hang on, found himself in front by 2 strokes going into Saturday. Now he trails by 6. I've got Matt Wallace back there as a pre-tournament play. He's also 6 back. I think that's too far back. I did add Matt Kuchar last night, the old man. This is kind of like the old guys versus the young guys. You've got Jonathan Vegas, who turns 40 in just a couple of weeks, and Matt Kuchar at 46 years old. And then right behind them, you know, a bunch of 20-somethings with Maverick McNeely, Sahith Theegala, Patrick Fishburne. McNeely and Fishburne looking for their first ever PGA Tour victories. I think it's probably going to come down to the top 3 guys on the board, Kevin. Vegas at 16, Kuchar at 15, and McNeely at 14. I think the gap's probably too wide when you get down to the 12s and the 11s and then, of course, the 10s.
Yeah, the one thing that, and it's odd how, you know, kind of different things can catch your attention, right, Brady? But just looking here, the first guys the guys that are all T4 or better, all of them shot a 63 yesterday, other than Sahith Theegala.
I know, that's crazy.
It's so interesting, isn't it? And part of me then wonders, okay, so does Theegala have the most room for improvement, but maybe he's just a tick too far back, Brady? I mean, he is 10-1 of the group, probably the most pedigree.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. He is probably the best player of that bunch. Now, Kuchar, obviously a decorated career. Jonathan Vegas has been a very solid player for a long time, has a couple 3 PGA Tour wins to his credit. Theegala, obviously an up-and-comer. What the problem is with Theegala, he's had problems with his irons for a few months now. You know, we saw him threaten victory at the Phoenix Open a while back. Scotty Scheffler coming down the stretch. Nick Taylor ended up winning it. And he's kind of fallen off the map a little bit since then, and his iron play has really been shabby. And that's what has really happened here this week. His putting has been very good. He's kind of doing everything pretty darn well, but his iron play is still very poor. And so I don't really want to invest in a guy that is putting pressure on his short game continually throughout the week, and especially here on Championship Sunday. If he's not putting himself in good positions to make birdies, and he's really having to scramble and save himself with the short game, that's not a player I want to be on. Kuchar, I mentioned that I got involved with, he's the polar opposite. Matt Kuchar is ranked 23rd on tour in strokes gained putting. 23rd. That's one of the best putters in the world. Yet in this field, he is ranked 60th for strokes gained putting. He has not putted very well. He got it together on Saturday, putted really well en route to that 63 that he shot. But he's doing everything else fantastically. He is number 1 in this field for iron play, number 1 for strokes gained tee to green, and he can't get the putter figured out. He did on Saturday, but again, he is such a good putter. I think he'll be just fine with the flat stick here today. And if the rest of everything carries out the way it has, he's going to be right in the mix. I like the way he's going along.
Brady, I do want to ask you, because you were telling me during the break, this isn't the only golf that we have going on here with potentially stakes kind of on the line towards the backstretch. Live Golf, which I know, again, you guys here have done a great job kind of covering and finding some winners at. Set me the scene over at Live right now. Who's in the mix, and what are you looking to lock in with?
Yeah, it's been a good tournament playing in the UK, not far from where they had UFC 304 last night in Manchester, the JCB Golf and Country Club in the UK. And right now, Andy Ogletree is in the lead, a relative unknown. This guy won the U.S. Amateur, had a cup of coffee on the PGA Tour, had some injuries, and then ended up on the Live circuit. He was not the overnight favorite. He had a 2-shot lead and was still not the overnight favorite. Tyrrell Hatton had those honors, followed closely by Ogletree and Jon Rahm, and that's who's in the mix right now. Ogletree, at one point not long ago, had a 3-shot lead. It is now down to 1. He just made a double bogey. He's got 10 holes left to play, but he's brought Hatton and Rahm back into the mix. Rahm and Hatton both trail by just a shot with 9 holes left to play. Then you also have Paul Casey, Oosthuizen, and Matthew Wolff, who are just 2 shots behind. Joaquin Niemann, David Puig are, 3 shots behind. So you've got a chase here for the back 9 on Sunday on the Live circuit. And Paul Casey just makes a birdie to move to 11 under. He's now just a stroke back. So Rahm, Casey, Hatton chasing Andy Ogletree, trailing by just a shot.
It's going to be a lot of good stuff then. And again, I know we're around the corner as well from the Olympic golf, which, Brady, I know you'll be helping us out with. Awesome stuff there. I do want to update people with the end of this first quarter for the United States and Serbia quickly. 25-20, USA. It's a steal and a fast break alley-oop LeBron to Anthony Edwards that gets them the first quarter cover. After, again, what was a really, really sloppy start, this team turned it on. Your leading scorers are the Phoenix Suns, Durant and Booker, each with 6, with a pair of made threes. Kevin Durant's come in and certainly made an early impact here right now in this basketball game. Live numbers have Team USA positioned as 15.5-point favorites and a live total of 184.5. Brady, before we let you get out of here, anything else from that Olympic golf
set up there that has started to stand out to you yet? I know we still have a little bit time before we officially tee off, but I know you've kind of been continuously checking in with everything kind of going on for the Olympics.
Well, I tell you what, John Rahm just made a birdie to tie Ogletree for the lead at Live UK. They are now both at 12 under. Rahm with 8 holes left to play, Ogletree with 9 left to play. And of course, John Rahm will be teeing it up in Paris next week to represent Spain in the Olympics. He's played this golf course before, Le Club National, and had very much success here. It was 2018, the Open de France, that was won by Alex Noren, who will also be in the Olympics representing Sweden. John Rahm finished 5th that year. He's had other decent finishes at this golf course when he was a member of the European Tour, but he's also played here in the Ryder Cup. Did not have a great Ryder Cup. He finished 1-2 in his matches, but that one win was a Sunday singles match victory over Tiger Woods. So the guy has played well at this golf course. I like the way he played at the British Open recently. He had a run going there for a couple days over the weekend. That has transferred over, it appears, here to this Live event. I know Joe Ranieri and myself are both on Rahm in game. I think he's going to pull this one off and come into the Olympics with a head of steam. Might be a guy to take a look at next week to find his way onto the podium.
John Rahm heating up. He had a solid enough finish as well at that Open Championship, as you said, Brady. So if Rahm's heating up, that's something we all should take note of. Awesome as always, Brady. Appreciate it. Quick break. We've got Joe Madden for some baseball next.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Media have already said that they are going to be horrible. The books have them, as we'll see in a moment, at a win total of 5.5. Sean Payton, though, Scotty, he does not listen to preseason prognosticators.
That's your future, and it's on you. Like, they selected him. They wanted him. That's what they got. And now he has to build that from scratch.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
They scored well. They defended like crap. Last game, they struggled to score. They defended great. We still have not seen the best out of USA basketball. So they showed they've won different ways. They still should win absolutely the gold medal. But they're playing with fire a little bit with their play, especially when you get to the medal round and it only takes is one game to lose.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Game Time Decisions. Team USA is on fire. Kevin Durant has not missed, literally has not missed. LeBron dialed in. USA is up 32-23. They are locking in, and Nikola Jokic is sitting on the bench for the entirety of it. Is he back out there? He might. I think he just recently came back out there, certainly, which is important for Serbia if they're going to have any chance here against USA. One of the real big difference makers right now is that three-point shot. Again, I said this pre-tournament. This team has the ability to shoot the lights out, and I know it's probably been eye-opening right now. I think Kevin Durant's absence was not – he just hit another one. I mean, my goodness, this guy's going to become the favorite to lead the Olympics in scoring. Legitimately off of one game. The guy barely had odds. He didn't have props. He has 14 points. I mean, this guy's I said under. What is that about? I believe they would say up north, give my head a shake. What was I talking about? Good thing there weren't Kevin Durant props. Joe Madden's here. Joe, great to talk to you as always. Look, people I am sure at home are so happy you are here, not just because you're always great, but because I am so excited about the Olympics. I've hardly talked any baseball, and there is a lot of baseball going on. So tell me, where does the card start for you today with still a full Sunday slate of Major League Baseball action?
Well, I'm trying to get out of the bottom of the first here because it did start with the Cincinnati Reds and the Tampa Bay Rays for that Nerfy. So I'm rolling with the Nerfy there. But then the next bet is the San Diego Padres taking on the Baltimore Orioles. Now, looking at this matchup here, the Orioles, we know they've struggled outside of the break, and the Padres have been rolling so phenomenally hot, winning their last 7. I think with Vasquez here, they can get the win in this one, and we're getting some plus money on the San Diego Padres. I couldn't say no. Suarez coming out here for the Baltimore Orioles. I just am not in love with what we've seen out of him as of late. He's allowed those runs to come in his last 5 starts, and a lot of them at that, Kevin. So I'm really looking for the Padres to continue hot in this one and be able to get the win. And talking the Olympics, I've got LeBron for 30-plus points. I had to sprinkle on it. It was plus 3,000. I thought it was worth a shot.
I've always said Joe Madden's the smartest person on the network, and I agree with all of her national takes now as well. I think I think she's dialed in here. Joe, let's keep kind of going through here. Any pitching prompts that you've circled up so far here on this Sunday card?
Yeah, there's a couple pitchers that I've been looking at in the mix in the games out there. Bryce Miller for the Seattle Mariners. I really like what we've seen out of him. He's been strong for them, and I think he's going to come out strong versus the Chicago White Sox. We look at him here in the last time he versed Chicago. We did see him be able to go deep into that game, and I'm expecting another game here where he can go deep, even though he is on the road. We can take him for 18.5 outs to the over, and we're getting plus money at plus 144. The Chicago White Sox are not a team that scare me, that are going to hit Bryce Miller quick in this one and not allow him to go deep in this game. So I'm taking him over the 18.5 outs, but I'm also going to look at him for his strikeout props, over 5.5 strikeouts coming in at minus 104. The last time he faced the Chicago White Sox, he went 7 innings, had 21 outs, and was able to record 8 strikeouts on 0 earned runs. Now, I don't think he's going to have the same production out there, especially strikeout wise, but I can see those 6 strikeouts coming, and I'm expecting at least 21 outs in this one. I expect him to go into that 7th inning again in this, Kevin. It's the Chicago White Sox, and this team, 13th loss again for them. Second time this season. Chicago's absolutely struggling out there.
Yeah, they certainly are, Joe. What about your Toronto Blue Jays? They started to sell some pieces off. We know yesterday they have taken the first 2, though, off the Texas Rangers, and they're favored to take another one here at home.
If you really think Toronto can sweep, you're going to have to, it's like minus 102 for the Toronto Blue Jays, but I don't believe it. I do think the Texas Rangers can come out nice and strong. You look at John Gray getting the start here for them, and Barrios getting the start for the Toronto Blue Jays. I think Toronto will give up the runs today, but I don't think that we're not going to see the runs be given up by the Texas Rangers either. Toronto has some momentum. Their bats have been clicking as of late, but Texas has been able to put up some runs yesterday. They put up only those 3, but I'm expecting more out of them today. I'm just going to look at the total in this one, Kevin. I think you look at the over 8. I'm expecting at least 9 runs. I think this is actually going to be one of those games where the books keep moving this line as the game goes. I'm expecting those runs to come fast and to be a high-scoring game out there like we saw yesterday, but a couple more runs out of the Rangers. I do think you could look at the Rangers, though. The value is on them. I don't think they get swept in this one, but best bet over 8.5, and that's coming in at minus 118.
Joe, can I ask you, with the trade deadline approaching, there are people wondering, I think the big one they're wondering is, will this team trade Vladimir Guerrero Jr.? I was actually talking with someone yesterday who happens to be a Toronto Blue Jay fan, but lives here, interestingly enough. But he was asking me, like, hey, do you think they're going to trade Vladdy? And I'm like, you think they're going to get rid of a Bo Bichette? Do you have any expectations right now for what the Blue Jays are actually going to do at the trade deadline?
No, I don't. I don't think they're going to do anything, Kevin, except for move some of these small pieces, which I don't think is going to make enough of effect out there. I really do think Vladdy or Bo need to move on, and it's nothing against them. It's something isn't working for the Toronto Blue Jays. Maybe it's management that needs to move on or coaching that needs to move on, but this team isn't working. And I keep saying the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. The Toronto Blue Jays keep doing this year in and year out. And I swear, it feels like we're going to be sitting here next year with you asking me the same question. Are they going to let Bo go? Are they going to let Vladdy go? And the answer is going to continuously be no until someone comes in and shakes up that organization, because they want to try to keep this core together. They've said they're going to keep this core together, and it's not working. And we see the same thing out of the Toronto Maple Leafs in hockey. Toronto teams don't like to mix things up. They don't like to trade off their players, but Toronto needs to. We're not going to be a team that can contend in the playoffs if they don't. So I want Vladdy to move. I think without Vladdy, Toronto will be stronger. And I know it sounds awful because he's got a really heavy bat, but I don't think it's working.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough there. Quickly updating people, Joe Matt is going to be right back with us here to continue to break it down. But Team USA up 40-33, but a set of consecutive N1s for Nikola Jokic, tightening up the lead a little bit. We'll be right back on Sports.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start, so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Media have already said that they are going to be horrible. The books have them, as we'll see in a moment, at a win total of 5.5. Sean Payton, though, Scotty, he does not listen to preseason prognosticators.
That's your future, and it's on you. Like, they selected him. They wanted him. That's what they got. And now he has to build that from scratch.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
They scored well. They defended like crap. Last game, they struggled to score. They defended great. We still have not seen the best out of USA basketball. So they showed they've won different ways. They still should win absolutely the gold medal. But they're playing with fire a little bit with their play, especially when you get to the medal round and it only takes is one game to lose.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
All right, right now, LeBron and Kevin Durant are doing everything for Team USA. They have a combined 26 points on 10 for 10 shooting. That is legitimately the case right now. It's absolutely wild. We're here with Joe Madden. She's already put some picks on the board for us. Padres money line, the over in the Rangers Blue Jays games, and some Bryce Miller sizzles. With Joe here, let's go over to this Dodgers game. against the Houston Astros, Joe. And what are you looking for in this matchup between LA and Houston?
Well, it was a fantastic game yesterday. The Houston Astros able to pull out that win, but I am looking for the Dodgers to come out nice and strong in this one. The issue here with the Dodgers taking them straight up on the money line is River Ryan coming out. Now, he'll be making his second start, and we did see him come out nice and strong versus the Giants. But here versus the Houston Astros, I trust their bats so much more. We saw what the Astros were able to do yesterday, and I think they're going to get these runs on the board, but I have more faith in the Dodgers to get the runs versus Arrigati. Arrigati has had command issues out there, Kevin, and I just don't trust him versus his Dodgers lineup. So I'm going to look at the Dodgers. I'm going to look at their team total over 4.5 runs. That's coming in at plus 106. This is a team that has been so strong out there on the road, averaging right around 5 runs on the road this season. And then I'm going to look at Ohtani. We all heard his bat yesterday when he hit that big home run, and I expect that home run to come in again today. When he's hot, and his home run is still value with that it coming in at plus 250. So give me Ohtani for the home run and give me the Dodgers for over 4.5 runs in this one. I just don't trust Arrigati with his command issues.
Yeah, I think that's understandable. Ultimately, Shohei has just continuously been special. I was talking with the crew today. He's plus 870 to win Triple Crown, which, look, it's not going to be easy, but he currently does lead the NL in batting average. And that's the one that you would think would be the toughest sell. Again, his inability so far this season, relatively speaking, to capitalize with runners in scoring position is why he doesn't have the RBI lead in the National League right now. But again, he's not super far off on Marcell Ozuna. Joe, what about some Rockies-Giants action here, keeping with the NL West?
When you first look at this game, it looks like it's a clear over, but I don't trust the bats enough for either of these teams right now. The Colorado Rockies were shut out yesterday, not able to put a run up on the board, with the Giants winning at 5-0. And we look at the pitchers here. Jordan Hicks has been lit up in his last 3. That ERA is over 8, and I'm expecting a bounce back here because we look at the competition he faced in those last 3. It was the Dodgers, the Toronto Blue Jays, and the Atlanta Braves. So he faced some pretty big bats out there, but versus the Colorado Rockies, I don't have the fear of the Rockies putting a lot of runs on the board. Now, Austin Cromber coming out here for the Colorado Rockies. He's 1-5 on the road with a 5.61 ERA. But again, the Giants' bats aren't worrying me right away as of late, Kevin. So I'm going to look at the first 5 innings. I don't expect those runs to come in, even though it goes against all of the numbers we're seeing. But the Giants' bullpen has done a pretty solid job as of late. And with these cold bats, I think we stay under 4.5. Now, you're going to have to lay the juice for the under 4.5 in the first 5 innings. That's coming in at minus 140. But I think it's worth laying some juice in this one. I think we've got cold bats out there, and we stay under the number.
By the way, Kevin Durant did check back in, and he did shoot another shot. Yeah, he made that one as well. He's up to 16 points. It was a 2-point game into a 6-point game. It's 50-44. There are also some key guys who have not played yet for Team USA. One not surprising, one stunning. We'll get to that at the top of the hour. But, Joe, talk to me. The baseball slate closes out with Yankees, Red Sox. What do you like in this one?
We had another fantastic game in this matchup yesterday with the Yankees getting that 11-8 win. It was phenomenal to watch it. But we have Rodon coming out here for the Yankees today. And Kevin, he's a fade for me. I know how strong he came out in that last game versus the Tampa Bay Rays. He looked phenomenal. But the Boston Red Sox are hitting right now, and I do think they're going to hit him hard in this one. I'm going to take the Boston Red Sox over 4.5 runs. That's coming in at plus 104. Tannehill getting the start for them. He is very good in night games, 7-5 in night games with a 2.45 ERA. I think the Red Sox do get the win, but I like their team total over the 4.5 with that plus money better. So I'm fading Rodon, taking the Red Sox team total.
Joe, excellent work as always. I wish you the best of luck with all the breakdowns. Kevin Durant just hit another pull-up 3. For anybody keeping track at home, he has 19 first-half points, and he still hasn't missed a shot. The cover for the first half here is in doubt right now at 7. USA might need a basket with 5 seconds left. We'll break that down on the other side. Great stuff again from Joe Madden. We'll be right back.